have 8 seconds, how would our lives and our unions and our relationships be more real and amazing on this earth? How would they transform if we would stop being so afraid of pain and be okay with it? We are always afraid of pain, yet, really, we're made for pain. So, I have this friend of mine down south in England, and I went round and visited her last summer, and she was scurrying about, and she was moving around and doing so much, and I said to her, why don't you just sit and rest and just be for a moment with me, or just be in general? And she was like, right, I can't do that. I said, why can't you? She said, because if I did, that would mean I'd have to feel. We are so accustomed to not feeling pain, not feeling hurt, not feeling sadness, not feeling any of these things. So I'm going to ask you, do you have 8 seconds? Because if you can sit and be with your pain for 8.1 seconds, whereas maybe the day before, or even a moment before, you could only be with your pain for 8 seconds, that is the path of healing. That is the path of the soul. So instead of hiding from it and trying to get rid of it, or trying to run from it, as you may have heard that saying of what fear stands for, of forget everything and run. What if you were able to just flow right straight into it? Really feel your pain, actually feel it, and allow the pain to become your power, just as a child does. I've spoken about this in many of my videos before and on air in the many years that I've been on radio. And I talk about it and I liken it to a child. You may remember when you were a child, or I can share with you a story about my son. When he was about 4 or 5, he was just having this right tantrum, and he came bursting in the room and he said, "Mommy, I hate you." And I had a friend, old friend from school, who had come around, and she just was mortified. She's like, "Oh my God, if my son, who was the same age, said that to me, I would just be devastated." And I looked at her and I said, "Well, it's all right, because I know he doesn't mean it." He was having a moment. He was having his tantrum, and 5 minutes later, he was back playing, and he was all happy, and "Mommy, I love you," and, he felt it full out. Speaking of my son, my son and I had a very hard experience when he was very young. He and I were living alone in our flat at the time, and my husband then at that time was away. And so because my ex-husband wasn't there, I ended up, going downstairs to go get the post, and as he would usually do. And had I not come back when I did, I would not have saved my son's life. We actually had a fire in our flat, and I crawled, for safety to get to him. So for years, he had night terrors and pain, loads of pain. And when we had him in therapy for it, and we were moving through it and everything else, we came upon this book that was recommended to us by the therapist we were working with. And the book is called Jessica and the Wolf. And it's this story about this little girl, and she has these night terrors, which is what my son was having. And so he really related to this little girl, and she was afraid of this wolf. So what happened was that she ended up creating this magic wand, and she put a light on her fear. Yeah, she took her courage and put a light on it, and she changed the story of it by being with her fear and owning it. And then the wolf disappeared. So, if you can sit with your pain and look at it and say this: I see your pain, I see your fear, and you know what? It's really big and it's really real. And yet, also is your courage, your wisdom, your inner strength, and I see your soul. And you know what? It is bigger. Your soul, your wisdom, your courage, your inner strength is so much more than that old pain. And you are so much more. You are infinite consciousness, Source's beloved, within whom Source is well pleased. Pain is free from being something that is to be avoided. Heartache, pain, fear, grief, all of it is just a ticket stamped that says, you know what, I paid the price for loving, I paid the price for caring, and it's that loving and caring is why we took the ticket for this flight to this earth to begin with in the first place. So it's okay. It's okay for you to experience hurt or pain or anger or any of these other emotions, energy and motion. Nothing is wrong with you. Pain is here to teach you something. Pain is here as an indicator, a barometer, if you will, like the weather. How hot are you or how cold are you? It's here to help you remember something, which is that you're taking a path right now that is different than what your soul is. You're moving away from who you are as a soul and its purpose. So I invite you to invite your pain, invite your grief, invite your fear, invite it for tea. Have tea with it and allow the pain to show you what you need to know. The pain is the messenger. The pain is the messenger to what really fear means. Instead of forgetting everything and running away, face everything and rise. Rise into the love that you are. Find what the pain is telling you and step into its opposite. You know, I was raped when I was 15 and I had a lot of pain because of that, and I suffered tremendously because of it. And you know, I utilized that pain to help so many now who have been raped, who've been abused, because I was abused as a child as well. I came into my purpose because I experienced the opposite and healed it by experiencing love and finding my path to love. And so now I help others in those same situations, and I have compassion, great compassion for those who have been harmed that way, which I would not have had it not happened. So I'm going to invite you into something for pain. See pain as possibly an inspirational moment now. So pain, P-A-I-N, possibly an inspiration, parentheses, moment now, or possibly an inspirational now. Yeah? And when it comes to yourself and others, the greatest gift in relationship is how we can just be with someone in their pain. Be with another in their pain. Be with yourself in your pain. Be with another in their pain. When you can say, I hear your pain. I know you're suffering. I understand. And I'm here, right here, for you and with you. We require loved ones and friends, connections who are free from being there to fix us. We require friends and loved ones who can be still enough to let us have our pain, just like that child that's having a tantrum. And in a moment, that inspirational moment, possibly an inspirational now, can occur. Espada.